spicy and meatball Italian.
Yikes.
Today we're looking at the newly developed torture technique by HBO, and it's named Velma.
Damn, Dilf City. Sorry, continue.
Based on the very popular series Scooby-Doo. You probably didn't watch this, but if you did,
may God have mercy on your soul.
It was probably out of morbid curiosity, but if you didn't and you're curious about the show, that's why I'm here. You may have noticed that this show is getting obliterated online. Everybody is talking trash about this show right now. I was kind of curious, so I gave the first 2 episodes a watch. Is all the hate warranted? Is the show as bad as they say? Absolutely.
Okay, I see how this looks bad.
While I don't think it's fair to judge a piece of media on its trailer alone, the trailer for this show did not bode well. If you're one of the people that saw the trailer for this, then you probably noticed all the warning signs. No funny jokes, very awkward dialogue. Imagine how unfunny the show is if in the trailer there isn't a single funny joke.
Muddy? Oh, sorry I'm not a drunk on the verge of losing custody like every other woman solving murders these days.
Velma is voiced by Mindy Kaling. She had her rise to fame on The Office. She also voiced the character Disgust in the movie Inside Out. And it makes a whole lot of sense that she would voice that character, because look at what she admitted live on TV.
When he came on the show and we had to do this flashback sequence where we were in bed together in college. In the middle of it, she was just supposed to be like, "What do you think, Mindy?" And I was like, and I looked around and I improvised just kissing him in the scene, which was not in the script.
It's not that, see, you just went for it. You just started kissing that guy, that picture, yeah.
It was just looming. And then I walked backstage. We have 2 writer-producers. Hey, man, what are you doing? You could be sued for that. And I got very scared. And then I said, tell anyone and you're fired.
Wow, that's illegal.
She expected this to come across as a joke just because she's a woman. It's so weird. Women can't sexually harass people. That's just how it works. Thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring today's video. For those that don't know, Helix makes premium mattresses, customized to fit your needs, shipped straight to your door. Once you take Helix's sleep quiz, it'll match you with your perfect mattress, based on your body type and sleep preferences. I'm mostly a side sleeper, and after taking the quiz, I found out that the Helix Moonlight Luxe was the perfect mattress for me. And ever since I took that quiz and the bed showed up right outside my door, I've been having the best sleep of my life. You can take the sleep quiz with a partner to find a mattress that fits both of your needs. Upgrade to the Glacio Tex cooling cover for additional customization if you sleep warm. Ever since getting this mattress, my sleep has improved drastically. I used to have a lot of back pain. Sleeping on my previous mattress did not help. Ever since getting this Helix mattress, my sleep has been perfect. We've had this mattress for well over a year now. It's just as, if not more comfortable than it was when we first got it, and it has served us perfectly. After you order your mattress, it will come rolled up in a box, and it's extremely easy to set up. And if you're unsure whether or not you want a Helix mattress, they give you a 100-night sleep trial to ensure that you love it. Helix mattresses include a 10-year warranty, and they offer financing options and flexible payment plans. You can get free shipping within the US. Visit helixsleep.com/ElvisTheAlien to get up to $200 off your Helix mattress, plus 2 free pillows. Thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. Now back to the review. Not only did they swap out the endearing goofball Shaggy with this weird simp named Norville, the most painful part of the show is that Fred is voiced by Glenn Howerton.
Seriously, who is this weirdo?
The Golden God himself. Like many others, I find him hysterical in Always Sunny.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
And I'm glad that he's getting work. But come on, not like this! He was this close to getting Star-Lord, and he got this instead! To make it even worse, this is a Scooby-Doo show without Scooby-Doo. Let's start with episode 1. The show immediately starts with commentary about how boys are bad and girls are great.
Normally, origin stories are about tall, handsome guys struggling with the burden of being handed even more power. And if they are about girls, it's usually like, hey, what made this hot chick go crazy?
And then 2 cockroaches bang for no reason.
This school sucks.
Daphne then shares some very strange commentary about how sex and nudity is always very prevalent in the pilots of shows. Disguised Velma shows up to ask Daphne how she feels about race-blind casting.
As an Asian woman, I think it's cool. cool. I mean, not to oversimplify a thorny issue, but everyone loves it when white people play Jesus or a professional boxer. Why can't it ever go the other way, right?
What is this dialogue? Why didn't the creators of this show just create a YouTube video about how they feel about inclusivity in Hollywood? That would have saved them a lot of trouble. It really does feel like the writers of the show use the show as a vehicle to express how they feel about Hollywood nowadays. And this will only become more apparent as I continue. This show is so weird because it romanticizes and almost fetishizes lesbianism, but then it'll turn around and make some weird comment about how men suck and men with small dicks are lesser.
I thought lesbians were good at solving crimes. It's like the one positive stereotype perpetuated by cop shows.
The commentary on the entertainment industry is non-stop in this show, and it's never funny, not once.
But if the kids in every teen show ever can get through a brush with a deranged serial killer, so can I.
There's a scene of Velma being questioned at a police station by two female officers. The two officers in this scene imply that Velma is ashamed of her looks.
Because of your hairy gorilla arm.
No!
And you're like a King Kong.
Velma's dad got a random waitress pregnant, and now she lives with them. And there's a part when she rips her clothes off for a nude photo shoot, but it isn't a punchline. It just comes out of nowhere. You'll find very quickly that that's how most of the jokes work in this show. They'll just do something random and silly, and hope for a laugh. It's not a joke. It's just random goofy shit. The lowest tier of comedy possible. Frankly, it's embarrassing. So this girl Brenda died. She had her brain removed.
I'm not dissing her. She has no brain!
At her funeral, one of her friends says, in pop culture, when the slutty girl dies, we're all like, maybe she deserved it. So Brenda was a slut when she was alive, I guess. Nice. Very weird thing to say at their funeral, but I guess that's the joke. And then she says, she's the rare slut that didn't deserve to be murdered. Dear Lord. What makes it worse is that the people listening just go along with this batshit behavior. But doing something awkward and stupid for no reason is not normally funny. The reason it's funny in shows like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is because we get to watch the reactions of the normal people who are subjected to these insane bar owners.
The thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
The humor comes from the reactions we get from the insane stuff that people do. And sometimes it's so out there and so crazy that it can be funny on its own. But this show never achieves that.
Magnum Dom.
A main problem with the comedy in the show is that everybody in the show is in on the joke. Nobody has a strange reaction to something. Whenever someone does something ridiculous, it's just normal in this world. I love the time in comedies when people do insane things. The act itself is not what makes it funny. It's the people's reactions to what's going on, that's what makes it funny. Because you can kind of relate to how these people are feeling.
I get it. Everybody knows about the ultimatum.
Yes, I told everyone.
Hey. Right back at you, bitch.
But in this show, people do ridiculous shit, and then we just move on to the next ridiculous thing. Norville meets up with Velma and keeps calling voicemails VMs. Over and over and over again.
Didn't answer my VMs. Voicemails. If you listen to my VMs. Voicemails. Though I left you some other VMs. Voicemails.
I know what VMs are!
In my VMs. I left you 6 more VMs.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
That's why it's funny, because he does it over and over and over and over and over again. You know what they say, if a joke doesn't land, just say it 10 more times, and then it'll land. Who wrote this? Put them in jail. Norville and Velma go for a drive to speak about the case. Norville says something about hating drugs, and the music stops, indicating to the audience that it's time to laugh. But at what?
It has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
There's no joke here! Oh my god, it just gets worse. Okay, let's keep going. The funniest joke in this show so far is Velma looking at the contents of a camera. She reacts like she's seeing something horrible, but then her dad says, yes, it's true. So the audience is getting ready to see something horrible, right? Who knows what could be on this camera? But it's followed up with babies dressed up as vegetables. Granted, this is another random equals funny, but it was also a misdirect, so it lands way harder than any other joke in the show. But it also barely lands, so... There was a morsel of comedic value during this one instance, so I had to highlight it, okay? And the fact that this is one of the only times that this happens in the first 2 episodes is astonishing. This part didn't even get a laugh out of me. I exhaled a little bit harder than I usually do when it happened, because I was like, ha, babies in vegetable costumes? That's a baby dressed up as a fucking corn. There's this really awkward part when Velma is having a hallucinatory nightmare, and the way Norville gets her out of this hallucination is by expressing his feelings for her. He's got a huge crush on Velma.
You're like a brother to me.
So he tells her, thinking it will like shock her awake or something. But instead, she laughs at him, and she's like, keep going, that was funny. And so he keeps going, and then the hallucination ends. She thinks it's hilarious. So F's in the chat for Norville. They really tried to make this guy pathetic, didn't they?
I'm the funniest man alive.
This scene is just unbelievably painful. Norville gets over this very quickly, too. Like every loser should, I guess. Just get on with life, dude. She doesn't like you. It's revealed that Fred has hairless legs, which is very embarrassing. Fred's a late bloomer, and he's very embarrassed by this. He has hairless legs and a small pee-pee, and he tries to hide them at all costs. You hear that, kids? If you're a late bloomer, you should be embarrassed. You still have a squeaky voice, little baby. Can't grow hair in your legs? Hide that. You're not a real man. You little baby boy. Little baby boy. Well, have a small penis? Disgusting.
Make sure you change that.
Fred is shot through both kneecaps and then arrested. And then the episode ends. Episode 2. It only gets worse from here. You thought the first episode was bad? No. This one is far worse. Right away, this episode makes a joke about small penises. God, I hate this show. Fred's dad really cares about how big his son's penis is. They make that apparent in this scene.
It's not small, it's scared.
If I were to make a review on this entire show, this video would be like 3 hours long. So, a news reporter calls Velma Dinkley Vermin Dorkley.
Velma Dorkley.
It's very funny, but it doesn't make any sense because 2 seconds later, the reporter says her father's last name correctly. Velma is on a mission to find her missing mother, and her father does not care about her missing mother.
I have to go find my missing mother.
And then the show continues with the Fred has a small dick joke.
The rich white guy with a tiny dong. He did it.
It's a little much. Somehow everybody knows how big Fred's dick is, and then her father mentions it. Like, I know that's why it's supposed to be funny. Her father shouldn't know how big Fred's dick is.
Oh yeah, real baby carrot. And I'm gonna ride it all the way to victory.
Huh?
So that was embarrassing. Just because something is stupid and outrageous does not mean it's funny. Take Mr. Bean, for example. He does a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of outrageous things, but it's the reactions of the normal people around him that makes it funny, because he's the weird one, the odd one out. In this show, everybody is that odd one out, so it's not funny. In the show, it's 420, and all the kids at school are high. Norville asks Velma if she knows what 420 means. Who doesn't know what 420 means? What's even worse is Velma's response.
It's code for adults who still watch cartoons.
The hell does that mean? Like, it's not even a joke. Not all adults who watch cartoons are potheads. Is that even a stereotype, or did they just make that up? For this show. Velma has to go, so Norville asks her if she wants him to accompany her, and this is her very strange response.
Thanks, but after catching Fred, I feel my hallucinations are like the return of high-waisted jeans. It took a while, but we're finally through the worst of it.
What does that even mean? She likes high-waisted jeans? Like what? Did they test these jokes on anybody?
No.
Or were they so confident that this stuff was funny that they were just like, whatever, just put it out there. People will love it. Velma tries to make amends with Daphne because Daphne is the daughter to these 2 cops. They do this dumb joke about how Velma literally wrote something verbatim on the wall, and Daphne's like, oh, you call me this. And Velma's like, no, I don't. And Daphne's like, look at the wall. It says exactly what you said you didn't call me.
I was being sarcastic. You can't read tone in graffiti.
Velma wants the cold case file for her mother, which Daphne's parents have, because they're cops. Velma asks Daphne to get it for her, and Daphne's like, I'll do it for $500. And Velma goes, that's like $1 million. No, you don't get it though. What makes this scene so much funnier is at the very end, Velma gets hit in the face by a frisbee, and she doesn't even react. It's so funny when people get hit by things and it doesn't faze them at all. The jokes during this scene weren't very powerful, so they had to, put a cherry on top. Glenn Howerton's voice acting makes Fred's awfully unfunny character and dialogue almost bearable. Glenn Howerton has a naturally funny delivery, so sometimes you can fool yourself into thinking you're watching something funny if you just close your eyes and listen to the way he says things.
Bring the full weight of Jones Gentleman's accessories and Jones Gentleman's accessories for women down on your head!
The thunder of my vengeance will echo through these corridors like the gust of 1,000 winds.
You're like, oh, haha, I remember laughing at something that sounded like this in a different show. That's way, way, way better. In this show, Fred is an arrogant, childish idiot, and I'm guessing it's because he's the only character from the main cast that they kept white. He's got white privilege, right? And he's gotta be dumber than a stump. He's sexist, he has a small dick. What else can we do to him?
Oh God, he looks like Hitler!
Don't get me wrong, I love inclusivity. I always try to combat the anti-woke mob on YouTube.
What's wrong? Scared.
And I hate the word woke. I just think it gets thrown around too much, and it's mostly used in dumb circumstances. But in this show's case, they might have a point. Oh God! Oh no! I can't believe I'm aligning with the unbearably cringy anti-woke culture mob. I promise I won't mention Brie Larson once in this video. Aside from that time that I just did. So yeah, like I was saying, this show is extremely heavy-handed with its need to be inclusive and diverse. If this stuff bothered me in this show, then I can't even begin to think how much this show must annoy these other people out there. Let me just go through it all, and then you'll see what I mean. So this is what the original Scooby-Doo gang looked like. This is what they look like in this show. If we just kept it at that, I wouldn't care. Maybe put Scoob in there. I like Scoop. Put the dog in. Come on, put the dog in. Daphne is Asian with multiracial lesbian moms. Velma is Indian. Shaggy's black and straight, but also a pathetic simp. Velma and Daphne have lesbian chemistry, and it's romanticized and almost fetishized.
Guess I didn't try hard enough.
See, now if this was a show, it'd be super hot if you two kissed.
The only remaining straight white character of the main cast is Fred. And in this show, he's an evil, entitled rich baby who's overtly repulsive in every way. He misgenders Velma in one scene.
It is just a scared little boy.
There's multiple jokes about whiteness, which wouldn't normally be a problem, but they're lazy, and this show fails to make fun of any other race.
If I were a rich white dude, I'd kill everybody.
Everyone loves it when white people play Jesus.
White girl with too much money.
Those are all white people, Daphne. Wait, so a couple of middle-aged white dudes are gonna decide which of us are hottest?
You look like a white influencer.
Isn't it a little comforting to see a rich white guy get wrongly convicted for once?
One time is funny, 2 times it's fucking annoying. No?
This show is so desperate to include everybody and everything that they randomly focus on an amputee during a chase sequence for no reason. And then the show also makes a ton of jokes at men's expense. There's jokes about toxic masculinity, about penis size, they hypersexualize men's bodies. We get it, show. White privilege and the patriarchy exist. The show itself becomes a joke because of how desperately they're trying to make these things funny.
According to TV, it's morally okay to deal drugs.
And for a show all about inclusivity, you'd assume they would include dogs, right? What do you have against dogs? Dogs are the best thing out there. Trash Scooby. Get him out of here. We don't need Scooby. What? Why did I make that sound? All of this is just a little bit overbearing. You don't just notice the agenda with this show, they're vomiting it in your mouth. Please stop. All of this is just a little bit overbearing. Fred chokes on pancakes because he's so terrible at everything he does, he can't even chew his own food. He needs someone to like baby bird it into his mouth. But that might have been so ridiculous that it might have been funny. Probably not. If that's the main technique they're using to get laughs, you might as well turn up to 11, you know? Just have them start shitting all over the place. If you're gonna go the big mouth route, then go all the way. The dialogue during this scene is so unbearable.
Ah, crap, I'm all syrupy. Bathies!
Whoever wrote this show needs to be shut into an Iron Maiden.
JoJo, baby!
When Fred wants his food cut, cutties.
Mother, cutties!
Velma goes to Norville's house, and Daphne's cop moms are there. And they do this.
And that's the 411 home skillet.
Words. How do you do, fellow kids?
Dead rats and suicide.
Holy shit, could this be any worse? They call Velma V-Dog? The only funny thing in this episode are the pictures of Norville in the background on the wall. They're just a bunch of random pictures of him, and there's one picture of the back of his head. The fact that I found that funnier than anything else speaks volumes, I think. Velma enters Norville's room, he's live streaming, and then he says this to her.
I can't get banned for your thoughts on South Asian desserts again.
What is this dialogue? How is that a joke?
Like the dessert course at an Indian restaurant. Just forget it.
Then after Velma leaves the room, Norville has the weirdest line ever. He looks down at his sword and says this.
In teen movies, whenever a girl needs money, a guy sells something and then blackmails the girl into dating him for it.
Who the hell hears that and laughs? Not one human I know would laugh at that. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of teen movies. But even if you do, who is hearing this and going, oh yeah, dude, you're so right. That happens all the time. There's no way that's a teen movie trope, and I'm just now hearing about it. I'm sorry, there's no way. It's revealed in the next scene that Daphne is the Candyman, which is the school's drug dealer. They call him the Candyman, but it's really Daphne, so the Candy Woman. Daphne says this. According to TV, it's morally okay to deal drugs if your life is just kind of crappy. According to what TV exactly? Velma retorts, minorities on TV can only deal drugs to escape poverty. This dialogue is driving me insane. It's not witty, clever, or funny. This entire script feels like just random observations that the writers had in their lifetimes about certain things, and they're like, oh, that'd be funny. Everybody will relate to this. Let me put it in. And have nobody, not a soul, watch it or critique it. Let's just release it.
Why isn't this luring the crowd towards me?
It's gonna be great. People are gonna love it. What the fuck? Velma then says this.
I spit truth without a filter, like every comedian before #MeToo. Look.
Are they really trying to make a joke out of Me Too? Stop the show. How did nobody read this and think it was weird? Stop the show. The writers of this show know about the Louis C.K. thing, right? Chris D'Elia, Bill Cosby. I bet Velma loves all of these comedians. 1 second, they're being very careful to make fun of the perfect people so they don't get canceled. And the next second, they make a joke like this. Who is this show for? Norville wants to get $500 for Velma, so he tries to sell his sword. Velma sells drugs for Daphne to earn the files on her missing mother. I think I got it.
Drugs are like crack to these people.
Because crack is a drug. Crack is a drug. Crack is a drug. Crack is a drug. The worst part being this was one of the better jokes in this episode. Velma goes around failing miserably to sell drugs because she can't help but be a massive bitch to people. Velma in the original Scooby-Doo will make like snarky observations.
Is there a point to this?
But it was also endearing and funny. But in this show, she makes strangely accurate assumptions about people. Just listen to this.
What'll it cost?
Not much, just your dad's love when you blow out your knee and lose your scholarship. You know what else feels forced? Your belief that you're the only one sleeping with the lead.
Okay, you're fired.
She's just conveniently correct about these people's lives somehow. She's that smart. And what she's saying about these people aren't stereotypes. They're random guesses, so the humor is non-existent. Norville enters a sketchy apartment to sell his kidney for $500. Jesus Christ. This mega simp angle with this new Shaggy, it's not funny at all. I liked it a lot more when he was a doofus, and a lot of women were falling for him, and he didn't know what to do about it. That was a lot funnier.
Like, why do girls have to be so confusing?
There's a scene of Fred being introduced as a literal baby to onlookers by Velma's father. A storm comes out of nowhere and ruins his disguise that people fell for somehow. Someone takes a picture of him and it looks like he's doing the Nazi salute. So the guy who took the picture compares him to Hitler, and then he makes the very astute observation.
And not just because we compare everyone to Hitler these days.
Very clever writing, show. That's so true. Up top. Norville accidentally helped apprehend a wanted man, so he's given a $500 reward by Daphne's mom. Daphne's mom literally says this.
Good luck using it to coerce Velma into dating you.
What? Lots to unpack here. The reward just happened to be the exact amount that Norville needed. That's nice. How did Daphne's mom magically know why Norville needed the money? Cops willingly giving a reward to someone for the purposes of coercion. That's weird. And I know that's the joke. Still weird. Norville declines the money because he wasn't the one that caught the guy, when he was totally cool with selling his kidney for $500 earlier. I can't do this anymore, dude. In court, Velma is called to the stand by her father because she came to the conclusion that Fred is innocent, but he's still an entitled moron with a small dick. Velma makes sure to remind us of this.
That he was just another entitled rich guy who might kill someone because he has a tiny dong.
During this scene, Fred calls a plate a dingle hopper because he doesn't know what a plate is called.
You just cut the food and put it on the... What's the dumb thing called? A dingle hopper!
I honestly couldn't imagine worse dialogue. Fred's just that stupid, dude. Fred is so pampered that he doesn't even know how to cut his own food, so they have him demonstrate his incompetence. They give him a steak, and he fails to cut it. It's embarrassing. It's not funny at all. Everyone in court laughs at him. The judge does nothing to stop this. And to further prove how unstable and fragile Fred is, being a white male, they have him do this.
Is that true? I'm a big boy. Could have removed those dumb girls' brains no problem if I wanted to.
And then the judge announces that he's guilty.
Based on what?
Makes sense. Whatever. It's a cartoon courtroom. That's how it works.
You look like a queer.
Well, okay, so now you're calling me a queer in the courtroom?
Velma then says, wow, blonde hair people have bad days too. The way they made this smart, snarky kid into a naive, prejudiced douche is so strange and unbecoming to me. Velma then has another hallucination. A ghost attacks her. Nobody else can see them. Think of it as a much worse version of Stranger Things. Daphne is with Velma, and in order to get Velma to snap out of it, Daphne starts making out with her. Remember, kids, if your friend is having a panic attack, just make a sexual advance on them. It'll always work.
Yeah.
This episode ends with Norville arriving and watching them make out. He's got a pretty snazzy outfit on. Too bad he's a simp. It's so sad how pathetic they're making Norville in this show. God damn it. So yeah, that's what I thought of Velma. Let me know what you thought of this show in the comment section down below. If you saw the rest of the show, let me know how it pans out. And yeah, let me know what you'd like me to review next in the comment section down below. Thank you so much to all my patrons. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I've been putting this off for quite a while now, mainly because this is the comic book equivalent of a war crime.
You maniacs!
But it's time. Let's do this.
Damn you! God damn you all to hell!
Without further ado, this is DC's I Am Not Starfire. Right off the bat, we're shown Starfire on the cover of Vogue. A little background on her, she's existed in the comics since the 1980s and is a member of the Teen Titans. But as I'm sure you've guessed from the title, this book isn't about her. It's about her daughter, Mandy. And right off the bat, the book shows the reader that Mandy is nothing like her mom. Starfire is tall, fit, beautiful, and has superpowers. And her daughter is the exact opposite. And there's no subtlety in this. It's a direct head-to-head comparison. Whoa there, hold it. You're trying to tell me that out of Starfire's powers, which include superhuman durability, speed, reflexes, agility, endurance, and stamina, semi-invulnerability, an accelerated healing factor, flight, energy projection, starbolts, she also has the ability to learn a language by kissing someone, she has immunity to intense cold and heat, energy absorption, and self-sustenance? You're trying to tell me that her daughter inherited none of them.
Get out!
Right. But I digress. Back to the book. We get a very accurate description of these two characters and the dynamic they share. Starfire is cheerful and happy, and she seems to be looking after her daughter, and Mandy is in a foul mood and has an expression that can only be described as resting bitch face. Get used to it, you're gonna be seeing it a lot. They're having dinner, and Mandy's doing her best to ignore her mom. I'm having a really hard time believing that this is actually Starfire's daughter and not the love child of the Penguin and the author. Speaking of the author, now would be a good time to introduce her to you, and after I do, a lot of things about this book are going to start making sense. Enter Mariko Tamaki. You know how they say a picture is worth 1,000 words? Yeah, Let's not beat around the bush and get straight to the point. She's a feminist, an LGBTQ activist, a vocal critic of fat shaming, and she works to promote diversity and inclusion. Personal pronouns in her Twitter bio? You know it. Now, you might be thinking that this doesn't mean that she's a bad writer. However, it's been proven time and again that social justice activists insert their personal politics and agendas in everything they write at the expense of the characters and the story. So, before we get back to I Am Self-Insert, let's have a quick look at one of her most famous books, This One Summer. So this is a book about two teenage girls discovering themselves and their sexuality while battling family dynamics and mental disabilities. Here's some art from the book. Do these look like teenagers to you? Now, surprise, surprise, some people thought this book is inappropriate considering that it's apparently sexually explicit, contains profanity and drug use, and they had it removed from a few places. And what was Mariko Tamaki's response? That it's erasing queer lives. So essentially, she called her critics homophobic. Anyway, let's get back to the book. Mandy is having an appointment with the guidance counselor who's talking to her about college, and she says that she's not going. The guidance counselor tells Mandy that college is the next step too, and Mandy interrupts her saying, "Towards being in depth for the rest of my life." Hold it right there. The book literally began with Starfire on the cover of Vogue. She's a superhero and a member of the Teen Titans, who are most probably subsidized by the Justice League. Long story short, one called to Batman and they can build a college for Mandy. But never mind, she walks out of the room and we're introduced to her friend, Lincoln. We see some of the other kids in the school who are actually friendly towards Mandy and are asking about her mom because they appear to be her fans. We get a one-page flashback of Mandy's school years, which are apparently justification for her to hate everybody in her school with the exception of Lincoln. They're hanging out in class, and her daydreaming session is interrupted by her diverse teacher who's pairing them up for assignments. And she gets paired up with Claire. Enter the crush. We get a glimpse of something that could have been vastly more interesting, the Teen Titans fighting giant beetles in space. But we're pretty much instantly yanked back to the school where Mandy manages to blow herself up. Then literally on the next page, Mandy is at Claire's house. Seriously, this is how this book is. The lab explosion, literally the next page, is her going to her crush's house. Anyway, they hang around and Mandy's in her typical foul mood. Then all of a sudden we get a flashback of a test that Mandy did 2 days ago. She's chewing her pencil, tapping her fingers, tapping her feet, and she just runs away. Her crush informs her that some other people will be coming and Mandy just packs up and leaves. She gets home and her mother is having a guest. Doug the Date. By the way, take note of what Starfire's doing here. She's coming out of what's probably the kitchen with something fresh out of the oven, and the first thing she does is ask Mandy if she's had dinner. She tells Doug that Mandy is an astounding student and she's beaming from joy. And Mandy? Well, she continues being in a foul mood and she runs off to her room. Starfire goes to check up on her, and Mandy's acting dismissive. Here's a reminder that this is the book's protagonist that you're supposed to be rooting for. Mandy checks out her social media, because that's what the kids do, and the next day she's in the girls' locker room getting ready for a game. Of course, Mandy's not paying attention, and she doesn't even bother to lift a finger to try to catch the ball that's passing within an arm's length of her. One of the girls tells her that she sucks, and I have to agree. Mandy sucks. Again, I would like to point out the pacing of this book. This is page 53, and this is page 54. The flow of this book is horrendous. There's no pacing to speak of, and reading it is actually a chore. As she's getting out of the locker room, one of the kids outside has a remark for her saying, "Look, it's Miss Apathetic 2000. To which Mandy replies, "Whoa. Bullying outside the changing room. So old school." Two things. First, that kid's right. She did just ruin their game by being apathetic. And second, that's not bullying. But what I find baffling is that for some reason, Mandy's crush appears to like her, when Mandy is just not likable. From the beginning of this book, Mandy has been in a mood, dismissive, rude, and gross. What's not to like? They hang around the playground for some reason, Mandy makes one of the girls uncomfortable, and she changes her resting bitch face for a smug, arrogant one. She gets home, and her mom is waiting for her with some Chinese food and a bunch of college applications. And you guessed it, our lovable protagonist is in a foul mood again. She confronts her mother and asks her why she's digging into her life, to which Starfire responds, because this is what the responsible parents do, and Mandy says, no, it's not. Starfire points out that something's wrong, Mandy says that nothing's wrong, and she goes to her room. So yeah, Mandy hissy fit number who even cares anymore. Now look at this page. I'm assuming this is where the reader is supposed to have sympathy towards Mandy, but I'm looking at Starfire and I'm seeing a woman who's being a supportive good mother and her daughter is acting like an absolute brat for no apparent good reason. This could have been an interesting story about what it's like growing up in the shadow of a superhero parent, but it's not. We get a flashback of Mandy's birthdays and oh, look, it's Starfire being a good mom. You do realize that Starfire probably has to save the world every few days or so, but somehow she managed to be at every single one of her daughter's birthdays. And oh look, even the Teen Titans come to celebrate Mandy's 16th birthday. We get more glimpses of this book's lovely dialogue, and we see Starfire watching over her daughter yet again. Back we go to the school, and if it wasn't for this book's horrible pacing, you'd be excused if you thought that Mandy actually did have a superpower of teleporting around. So anyway, she's hanging out with her crush, and why is this girl attracted to Mandy when she has shown zero likable qualities for the entire duration of the book? Mandy gets home, she has a hissy fit because she told her mother she needed the house, but her mother's friends are in her mother's house. And she grabs the bowl of snacks from Nightwing, saying that they're for her guest. What is this? This is art in a DC book nowadays. Now, you might say that this book is for children or that the art style is different, but you know what? No. No, this is a book coming under the DC label with a DC logo on it, and there's certain expectations. If this was some kind of crowdfunded project, fine, do whatever. But you're using DC as a brand, DC characters, and this is the quality you expect people to pay for. It's ridiculous! Mandy's crush comes and they spend some time together. And we get another flashback. This time it was when Mandy was at camp and she didn't tell anybody that her mom was a superhero. And oh look, she kissed the girl for the first time. Then her mom shows up, the girl finds out and calls her out for lying. And of course, it's everybody else's fault. Back to reality, they hug, and Mandy seems happy for a moment. She wakes up the next morning, and Claire has posted a selfie with the Teen Titans. Because apparently a teenager meeting superheroes and taking a selfie with them is some kind of great betrayal. And of course, Mandy proceeds to act like an absolute douchebag about it. And what does she do? She's rude, and she runs away. You know, it's a good thing I didn't tell you to take a shot every time Mandy has a temper tantrum, a hissy fit, or just acts like a brat or goes in the corner to sulk, because you'd be dead by now. Mandy gets home, and she's greeted by a visibly mad Starfire who confronts her about running away from the test. She was supposed to be out somewhere in space, presumably doing superhero stuff, but she's at home to deal with her daughter, because apparently she cares about her daughter. And of course, Mandy throws a hissy fit and then decides to run away to the nearest coffee shop.
You serious?
I can't, seriously. And of course, her crush is trying to reach out to her while her mom is standing outside the window. So naturally, she's mad and she's just about to throw a temper tantrum when, after over 90 pages of book, something finally happens.
Oh! Oh, beautiful!
Darkfire shows up. Long story short, Darkfire is Starfire's sister, she's very powerful, and she's a bad guy. Starfire immediately pleads for her daughter, saying She's not a warrior. You don't say. What could have possibly given you the idea that Mandy isn't a warrior? Is it the attitude, the lack of discipline, or maybe because she's so out of shape that if she tries to run half a block, she's probably going to collapse from exhaustion? So they get kidnapped, thrown in a small box, and finally they have a chance to talk. Partially because Mandy doesn't have the luxury of throwing her hissy fits and she has nowhere to run to. Starfire tells Mandy that her grandfather was the king of the planet Tamaran and her older sister Blackfire was supposed to be next in line for the throne. However, Starfire's powers manifested first, and her father decided that she should be the next ruler. Blackfire was enraged, she left, and when she returned, she was a warrior with an army and she conquered the entire planet. I'd like to draw your attention to this quote from the book. She was a warrior as powerful as me, if not more. Remember that, it's gonna be relevant really soon. Starfire continues by explaining that she was enslaved, she ran away, and she promises Mandy that she will not let Darkfire hurt her. They get interrupted by some guards who tell them it's time, and Mandy is given some armor. And we're taken to the school stadium. Sure, why not? So the battle for the throne of Tamaran is not going to be held in front of the world nations or some sacred arena atop a mountain or, on Tamaran itself. No, it's going to take place on Mandy's school stadium. Yep, that's it. Where's the pillow? So yeah, forget the fact that she's already conquered the planet. She has to have the fight because reasons. Mandy steps off and her friends are shocked. And just as Blackfire is about to blow Mandy's face off, Starfire intervenes and tells her to run. So the two sisters start to fight, and we get a surprise guest appearance from Humpty Dumpty. No wait, never mind. That's just Mandy. And hey, would you look at that? Mandy's hyperventilating trying to run half a block. In the meantime, Blackfire overwhelms Starfire and she comes crashing down to the ground. Mandy's crying, and despite Starfire just getting her ass whooped and falling from the sky, she's still being a good mom by consoling her daughter. Blackfire walks up to them, and for all of you saying, this is a book aimed for kids, here's a sampling of the wonderful child-friendly dialogue. And I quote, "Why don't you just fuck off and die?" So Blackfire decides to give Mandy a close shave. Not close enough, considering her head is still attached to her body. But Mandy's crush yells for her to get up, and in a surprise to no one, Mandy's powers manifest.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
So Mandy just got her powers. Do you think she's gonna have a little trouble using them, considering she just got them and she has no idea how they work? Of course not. Oh, by the way, do you remember that quote about Blackfire from a few pages ago? As powerful as me, if not even more? Yeah, that's gonna come into play right now, because surely her aunt, who is a trained, seasoned warrior that conquered an entire planet and is by this book's own writing more powerful than Starfire, is going to be at least a challenge for Mandy. You'd think that would be an interesting moment, wouldn't it? But no, Mandy is the author's self-insert after all, so of course she's going to kick her ass with practically zero effort. So just before she lands the finishing blow, her mother stops her, they hug it out. The Teen Titans show up, they take Blackfire away, and someone comes in and asks for Mandy's autograph. So Mandy gets instant celebrity status, she gets moved to the Teen Titans headquarters, where she of course continues to slack off. She has a moment with her friend, and then of course, her and her crush get together. Mandy has another makeover and what is this? This is pathetic, you know that, right? Anyway, they celebrate her birthday, she has a little monologue, and she flies off. The end. Yeah, that's right, You heard me. This is it. Over 160 pages, and this is it. This is hands down one of the worst graphic novels I have ever seen. The art is subpar for a DC book. The protagonist is repulsive. And in the end, who was this for? It's not for young adult novel fans, it's not for comic book fans. The only person who this was made for is Mariko Tamaki, so she can projectile vomit herself over the pages of this book through her blatantly obvious self-insert. And the real victims of this book are Starfire, because Mariko Tamaki kinda forced herself on her, and the readers. And of course, if you have any sort of criticism towards this pile of garbage, you guessed it, you're a fat-shaming homophobe. So, to sum it all up, this book is poorly written, with questionable art for a title coming from DC, with a repulsive protagonist that has absolutely no redeeming qualities but is rewarded with pretty much everything in the end. It's bloated and incoherent, and its 160-page content could easily be squished down to around 30 or 40. And the only actual reason for this book's existence appears to be for Mariko Tamaki to place her repulsive self-insert in it. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say I suffered brain damage while going through this mess. Now, if you'll excuse me, I just took a bullet for you guys. So I'm gonna have myself a well-deserved rest. Have a good one. I am out.
Don't mind me, I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
Camilla, knock off the farting.
She's sorry, Mummy. Something must have upset her tummy. I love your farts, darling.
Egats! It smells like treason in here! Psst. Hey kid. You want to buy more internet? Well, you can get more internet with NordVPN. Connecting to Nord's virtual private network keeps your online activities safe and secure from prying eyes. Combine that with their strict no-logs policy and you can surf the web with peace of mind.
What are you doing on the computer?
Well, you'll never know, Tommy, because I'm using NordVPN. Nord has thousands of superfast servers all across the globe and allows for up to 6 simultaneous connections on multiple devices. And it's very quick and easy to change your location.
Now I'm in Australia.
Allowing you to get around regional content blocks and enjoy more content on your favourite streaming sites. Perfect for impressing that girl you brought over to Netflix and chill, because God knows your personality won't. I'm just kidding, you're all chads out there. You'll also be able to shop around to get yourself the best deals based on regional pricing.
45, 45, I'm at 45.
And it comes with all these other benefits and a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Plus, you'll be helping to support this lovely channel. So to get more out of your internet, head over to nordvpn.com/cynicalreviews to get yourself a chunky discount on a 2-year plan, plus an extra 4 months for free. That's nordvpn.com/cynicalreviews to take control of your internet experience today. Click the link in the description and pinned comment.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my god. It even has a watermark.
I've said it before, but there really is nothing worse than a bad comedy. You can't even laugh at it because of the nature of what it is. It's just pathetic, really. And much like taking a shit in a sewer, HBO decided they wanted to add their own example to this genre with their adult animated comedy, The Prince, centered around the British royal family. You know it's going to be bad when Disney won't touch it with a 10-foot pole despite it being made by a studio that they own. And the only promotion you see for it is an uninspiring trailer released the day before the show itself. That is a sure sign of confidence. Oh, and I challenge you to read that tagline without cringing.
But I, of course, am in the perfect position to offer my thoughts on this travesty, since I am, in fact, so marvellously British that I piss tea, poo curry, and sweat opium.
Literally all of those things your people stole from other countries, though.
And we'd f***ing do it again. A dead giveaway that this show was going to be bad was this generic art style that every single mediocre adult animated comedy uses nowadays. Presumably because it's what a bunch of suits have decided sells best, even if it makes the animators want to drown themselves in battery acid. And if you're thinking, hey, this looks like yet another Family Guy clone, well, that's not a coincidence, since Gary Janetti, the show's creator and voice of the main character, is a producer and writer for Family Guy, which explains a lot. I've heard The Prince described as a Family Guy cutaway gag that got its own show, but at least Family Guy is capable of being funny on occasion. But The Prince, on the other hand, is painfully unfunny.
Pleasant weather?
Stop jabbering, you two. We're not Italians.
It's one of the least funny comedies I've ever seen, second only to Netflix's Hoops. But Hoops was so obnoxious and irritating that it made me want to peel my skin off with a spoon. Whereas The Prince is just sad.
God, I'm so hot for you, baby.
I'm so hot for you too.
But then, would you expect any less of an idea that started as a lame meme on Instagram?
I said Greta Thunberg is more like it. Don't laugh if you don't think it's funny.
All right then. I could count the number of times I laughed with The Prince on one hand, after I've put that hand in a blender.
But I'm not a royalist. They're so useless.
Yeah, kind of like real estate agents. Show me the house I've already seen online.
Okay, that one was kind of funny.
Philip, you look so handsome in candlelight.
Yeah, I like that one.
What's this about again?
Mostly poor children singing about how hungry they are.
So, a comedy.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. And they ruined it. There are, of course, aspects of comedy that are subjective, and you'll always find somebody that can laugh at anything. Hell, just look at Melissa McCarthy's career. But there are other aspects of comedy that concern the craft itself that make the difference between good and bad comedy. And in that regard, The Prince is a colossal flop. I was actually surprised when the show did land a joke or an emotional moment, because it happens more rarely than our Prime Minister Boris Johnson acknowledging his bastard children.
How come you're prepared to comment on other people's children when you won't talk about your own?
Well, actually, I don't comment on other people's children.
I've got to read it again to you. Are you serious? The children are ill-raised, ignorant, aggressive and illegitimate.
Well,
how many children do you have?
Look, I love my children very much, but they are not standing at this election.
No?
It kills what might have been decent jokes through either poor execution, dragging the jokes out too long, or by being about as subtle as a prostate exam with a crowbar.
Yummy, mummy, 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 mummy.
You sound like a f***ing idiot. That's why you're not king, in case you're wondering.
It also falls into the trap of thinking that adult comedy means swearing and gross-out humour.
Welcome, Your Majesty.
Excuse me. Thanks.
Which can be funny given the right execution and context, but just having the Queen say f*** isn't funny in and of itself.
Are those f***ing tarts I like? Hey, who'd you have to f*** to get a mimosa around here? He's not giving that one a rose. But he just f***ed her.
Nor is just having a staff member say, I have to take a shit.
Oh my god, I have to shit so bad.
Honey, I really have to shit.
Okay.
Why aren't you laughing?
It's not funny.
But the cartoon man said it was funny, though.
And swearing is something you should do in moderate amounts, otherwise it loses its impact and comes across as trying too hard.
Time to turn the f*** up! Yes, it's Buckingham Palace, you f***ing idiot. I want those f***ing tarts!
He'll take care of you.
Sweetheart, I'm the f***ing Queen of England.
She's such a bad bitch.
Was this written by a teenager? A lot of the time, when the show thinks it has a punchline, it actually doesn't. So I kept asking myself, what's the joke? How is this meant to be funny? And if you have to ask why the jokes are funny, then they're bad jokes. And they're either just straight up not funny, don't make any sense, or they're the same ones we've all been hearing for years or even decades.
F*** that. Those f***ing f***ers. F***. And that's his first word.
Truly groundbreaking comedy. They could get away with being unoriginal if they were at least amusing, but they aren't.
yourselves!
And what's worse, they repeat the same jokes over and over again.
Get the medic!
I'm on break, bruh. Philip all over the stairs again. I go up, but I'm on break.
Can you get me some mixed nuts?
I'm on break.
Why is it funny that he's always on break? Why is that funny?
Whenever a character appears, you know exactly what the joke's gonna be. The Queen is really mean, just because.
Excuse me,
Everyone stop f***ing startling me!
Prince Philip is a husk on the verge of death and actually does die in one episode, which, by their own admission, means that the show has already aged really badly. Prince Charles is a resentful mummy's boy who wants his mum to die so that he can have the throne.
She's had her go. Now it's my turn. I'm not a little boy any longer. I don't have to go running whenever she...
Charles, hurry up. We're leaving.
Coming, Mummy!
Which has been a running joke in the UK since even before I was born. Camilla's there but doesn't speak because nobody likes her, which isn't wrong, to be fair. William and Kate are a stereotypical unhappy married couple.
Little early for a fourth glass, don't you think?
Why don't you go hit another ball through a fucking loop?
They hate each other. What?
Harry is an oblivious moron.
Hey.
Did you know it's cold in there?
Yeah. It's the refrigerator, Harry.
Must be an American thing.
Meghan Markle's acting career has gone down the toilet. And so on, ad nauseum, predictable as clockwork. Yeah, that's not surprising. You can't even really call this a parody because a parody has to bear some relation to reality, exaggerating a certain quality or trend in order to poke fun at it. But just making the royal family into stupid assholes isn't satire, and neither is it funny. Like, it's weird that they would imply that Prince Harry would struggle outside the palace walls.
Life is hard. Most people struggle.
I have red hair. I know struggle.
Mate, he fought on the front lines in the most dangerous province in Afghanistan, whereas the only struggle these writers face is trying not to wet themselves every time somebody farts. And this is coming from somebody that isn't even a royalist. I really don't care about the royal family. Criticise or parody them all you want. They're public figures, and in that sense they're fair game. But there's something unavoidably distasteful about centering a lot of the jokes around actual children, who are neither responsible nor in a position to respond. Royal or not, that's still punching down. The central character is the heir to the throne, Prince George, and they've made him a monumental piece of shit to everyone around him, especially to his manservant Owen.
Ugh, not the dead wife again. Babe, move on.
Wow, you're a fucking sociopath. What the fuck?
I mean, kill me now. Am I right-o?
Yes. Kill me now.
They've also made him incredibly effeminate because gay child funny, ha ha.
Unfollow. Bye. Don't let me do that again, by the way. Pull me back, oh.
He comes across like a bargain bin Stewie Griffin, but without the charisma and with an actual child being bullied. His younger brother Lewis is a brutish football hooligan.
Oi! See! Thank you!
Because violent baby funny, ha ha. And Charlotte is quite literally a Russian bot because the baby spy trope hasn't been played out to death already.
You know what? Him. What a minge bag.
Whoa, easy. He's 11.
It's pretty rich of them to put that line in when they're making jokes at the expense of real 8, 6 and 3-year-olds. And it's funny because they could have used this opportunity to ruthlessly mock this sweaty pizza-munching nonce, but thought that bullying children would be less controversial. Priorities, right? They put this bullshit disclaimer up at the start of the episodes to deflect the criticism that they knew they were going to get, which you can't just do that. That's not a get out of jail free card. If you're going to parody the royal family, at least own it, you pussies. Or make up a completely fake royal family and make the comedy about them, then you wouldn't have this problem. As it is, the show is just insulting without anything meaningful or humorous to justify it. In ye olden times, the writers probably would have been hung, drawn and quartered. Probably the worst insult is implying that any member of the royal family would enjoy the Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory! Later! He's obsessed with that show.
F***ing plebs. And I'm pretty sure the entire royal family would rather abdicate than say vacation.
You know, this is going to be like a vacation for you too, Oh.
It's very obvious that this show was made by Americans for Americans, and most of the references and humour would fall completely flat to British audiences. Although aside from Charles and Philip, they all have surprisingly good teeth considering American stereotypes about the British.
Well, if it isn't Owen.
And there it is.
This is a sexy family. You know, for British people.
So its animation is boring, its humour sucks, and its parody fails. But its story can't carry the show either. The storylines are all dreadful, and there's barely any through line for each episode. It's just a bunch of events that bear only the smallest relation to each other, if any at all. For example, the episode Charity is based around an upcoming charity event, which the royal family does a lot of. Okay, cool. But the event only lasts 1 minute in the episode and nothing significant happens in it. It's just a bunch of barely related stuff that happens before and after. The episode has nothing to do with charity at all. What? Same with the episode Date Night. In a 12-minute episode, the date itself lasts about 1 minute, which in fairness is how long my dates used to last. And during the trilogy of episodes that are meant to be about a high school musical, they spend like 5 minutes on the musical, maybe? And they don't even show the f***ing play. Oh yeah, as if they couldn't make this more insufferable, they try to make a musical out of it towards the end.
I have the look and the voice for the part.
There are multiple plot threads in each episode, but the runtime is too short to develop them properly, and they rarely go anywhere.
First, we'll need a theme.
Yeah, exactly. And since every character is unlikable in some way, you really don't care what happens to them. By far the most interesting character is Kevin, one of the troglodyte things that lives below Buckingham Palace, who watches all of his family get burned to death in front of him and then plays the long game, rising through the ranks of the palace staff to claim his revenge. Now there's a character arc. In the final scene, he is shown carrying a tray of poisoned tarts to the royal dinner. Yep, they end it on a cliffhanger. Bold of them to assume anyone would want to watch another season of this crap. Oh, and can we just talk about how annoying it is that shows keep doing this? Leaving everything unresolved and thus making another season necessary for closure, but then it gets cancelled so we never get it? Yeah, please stop f***ing doing that! My canon ending is that he kills them all and burns down the palace. It helps me sleep at night. Well, what about the performances? Are they at least good? Well, not really, no. They decided to emulate the BoJack Horseman approach of hiring famous actors to play the roles. But unlike in BoJack, here their voice talents aren't good enough to justify the sidelining of professional voice actors. So I can only assume that this was done in a cynical attempt to help market the show. Oh, and there's some D-list celebrity cameos, just because.
What the f*** is going on with Harry?
How dare you talk about Harry?
I'll say whatever I want, bitch.
They did this joke on RuPaul's Drag Race, and it was funnier there.
Husband. Say it one more time. Harry Hamlin. Don't talk about my husband. Harry Hamlin. I love Harry Hamlin.
The worst sin the prince commits, though, is that it is unbelievably boring. I'd be amazed if anybody else was able to get through even the first episode, and I had to sit on a cheese grater just to occasionally feel something. The only positive about the show is that it is mercifully short, with each episode lasting around 10 to 12 minutes. But it's actually quite impressive how long they've made each episode feel versus how short they actually are. And if you can believe it, they keep doing various unnecessary things to drag out the runtime even more. Even the intro is boring as hell. And the opening and closing song in no way conveys the intended tone and feel of the show. Surely that's the most basic thing, and they still manage to fuck it up. Oh, and any diversity points they might have earned from having a gay couple in it are cancelled out by them making George into a little queen. Not only is the prince stupid and boring, it's also totally pointless. It does nothing well, has nothing interesting to say, and adds absolutely nothing to the genre. That one skit where the Queen met James Bond before the London Olympics was imagining the writers chortling to themselves that they made so many funnies after a good night of huffing paint. But when they showed the studio executives the final result, everybody realised how badly they done goofed. But the contracts had already been signed and the money spent, so they had to limply push it out the back door in order to keep the lawyers happy. Was there really enough demand in the US for an adult animated comedy about the British royal family? Do you guys really care that much about them? Imagine being the suckers who greenlit this show. You're never getting that money in time back, and I've already wasted enough of our time talking about it. This show is an insult to comedy. There is no reason for you to watch it, not even morbid curiosity or a patriotic duty to hate it. It is almost the worst animated comedy I've ever seen. Imagine a shittier version of Family Guy. Another shittier version of Family Guy. If you hate Family Guy, you'll hate this even more. And if you like Family Guy, you'll probably still think that this is shit. Now let this be a lesson that not every weird and wacky idea needs to be greenlit. Netflix.
No idea.
But didn't everyone used to call you the Little Prince when you were a bebe?
Anyway, everybody go like and subscribe.
I keep forgetting to promote it in videos, because I'm an idiot, but after much demand, I now have an official Minecraft server. It's a survival multiplayer server with no raiding or griefing, where you can hang out and mess around with other fans of the channel. Or non-fans, it's all good. We've already got a nice friendly community going on in there, supported by its own Discord server, and you're all more than welcome to join. I'll even be in there myself from time to time. The address is play.cynicalminecraft.net, check the description for a link. Oh, and there's also a D&D Discord server where you can play Dungeons & Dragons and other role-playing games online with other fans. Again, link in the description. Thank you for watching this rather patriotic video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and a share, and subscribe for more. If you want to support the channel, check out the sponsor NordVPN, link in the description. You can also become a YouTube channel member or pledge your support on Patreon. Patrons and channel members get early access to uncensored versions of videos without ads or sponsorships, as well as a mention here in the credits. Follow me on Twitch for streams, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord for updates, and I'll see you in the next one.
My awfully British nose is detecting a faint scent of treason.
OMG, so bad. My 5-year-old was so upset because the cartoons she watched did not look the same as the film. Everything wrong with modern cinema. Completely destroying childhood memories. Disney ruined the Snow White of my childhood. It almost made me cry in the theater. This is not the Snow White from my childhood. Trash. Absolutely atrocious. As a grizzled movie critic with a nose for trash. Wait, did I write this? Why are they doing this? I've seen Steven Seagal movies better than this. Well, I guess we're doing this. For years now, we've been learning so much about this movie against our will. For years, we've seen Peter Dinklage saying how Disney better not cast any little people. For years, we've heard how Rachel Zegler loves Snow White, but also thinks it's really stupid. Which, like, what a thing to say about the movie you're gonna be in, though. You know what I mean? But even beyond that, all this hullabaloo of everyone being so upset about this movie is literally the funniest thing, okay? Because, like, as if any of you have ever had a single thought about freaking Snow White. I mean, it is kind of funny how they took literally the only thing about the character and got rid of it. Alright, so who is Snow White? She has, like, really pale white skin? Okay, well, we definitely can't have that. But even more hilarious is everyone clamoring on about how Disney is besmirching the sanctity of Snow White. As if any of you ever cared until now. Like, guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but Snow White is not real. But okay, so the movie came out to rave reviews, and now that I can finally make a video about it, I wanted to take a step back away from all the easy dunks and ask the question, on its own, is Snow White good, actually? I mean, the movie did so bad that Disney has halted all current live-action remakes, even the Hercules one, inspired by TikTok. Thank goodness for that. But okay, let's talk about Snow White. Wait. Oh no, it's the people who comment on my videos. I saw your Encanto video, Alex. You think you can just make fun of my favorite billion-dollar company's commercial products and get away with it? I mean, yeah?
You thought wrong.
No, wait, hold on a second. See, it's just a live-action Snow White movie this time. I see. Well, the council has granted you permission. This time.
But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Skillshare. You all know what Skillshare is. They have an absurd number of classes and teachers covering pretty much every subject you could ever think of. From artsy skills to business skills, analog, digital, beginner level, professional level, and anything in between everything I just said. Skillshare is the perfect partner to have when you want to start learning how to do something, get better at it, and then turn it into a side hustle or a full-blown career. Skillshare is there for you every step of the way with how to make a plan, maintain momentum, and follow through with whatever goals you have. Like I said, it could be creative goals, business goals, school goals, or even just personal wellness, everyday life stuff. One of the most important skills you could ever learn is how to learn, and Skillshare can even help you literally do that with the class How to Learn Anything Based on Science. Might be the most important skill you ever pick up in your life. And of course you can use Skillshare to level up your career and get into a new industry and all that, but also you could just learn stuff in your free time for fun, you know? Not everything has to be all rise and grind all the time. And sure, you can use YouTube and stuff to learn things too, but you never know if the info's up to date, or is the playlist complete? You finish part 4, then it goes to part 7, and what are you supposed to do? If you sign up to Skillshare today using my link, the first 500 people who do so will get a 1-month full free trial of Skillshare. You literally have nothing to lose, so use my link and sign up today. Okay, back to the show.
Once upon a time, there was a peaceful kingdom ruled by a virtuous queen and king. One winter's night, a blizzard swept through their land, but leaving them a most precious gift. A princess was born.
Wait, so the snow brought them a baby? Yeah, my sister tried running that same exact line back in high school. So in this remake, fairest of them all refers to Snow White being really nice, and not about how she has the same sickly, hermetic complexion of someone who never goes outside except when the Uber Eats comes, like me. So the movie starts off with a song about how there's gems in the ground, and then Snow White's like, yeah, it's cool, my dude, think maybe you could back up a little bit, please? But one day, the queen falls ill and passes away, leaving just the king and Snow White. But then, everything changes. Again.
Until an enchanting woman from a far-off land appeared at the palace.
An enchanting woman from a foreign land? Heck yeah, sign me up. Oh, it's just Gal Gadot. Psh, never mind.
So great was her beauty that it seemed to grant her powers beyond the ordinary. She married the king. But she was not what she appeared. She was evil.
Wow, the typecasting in this movie is crazy. So what ends up happening is the king marries this foreign woman and she convinces him to go to war with the southern kingdom. But he never comes back, which leaves her as the new queen, and Snow White is just shut away forever.
As the years passed, the people nearly forgot there ever was a princess named Snow White.
We're the good.
You know, it's kind of funny how the reception in this movie was so bad, and this haircut is so goofy looking, that everyone kind of forgot that Rachel Zegler is one of the hottest human beings to ever exist. This movie did her so dirty. Now, one day, Snow White is doing whatever she does, and that's when she just so happens to run into a boy in the castle. Bleh, cooties, gross.
I'm sorry. Is there something I can help you with?
Yeah, I'm looking for some peanut butter to suck through a straw so I can work out my jaw, you know what I'm saying? You got any chain link fences I can chew on? Dude, look at me, I don't need facial hair to hide my weak chin.
So this thief guy and Snow White start talking for a bit, as people do sometimes, or so I'm told.
I'm gonna have to ask you to put those back.
I would, but it seems like the queen has plenty already.
Oh.
You really think the people upstairs want to share with people like us?
Well, the princess would. All she does is think of how to help her people.
Oh, well then you should let her know. At some point, it might be useful for her to stop thinking. Maybe start doing.
But I shared a post on Facebook. What else could I possibly do? So the thief guy escapes, and Snow White goes to talk to the queen about how the people are starving, and she should maybe kind of share some food or something. And she's like, ew.
One is weak, useless, fragile. The other, hard, unyielding, everlasting, flawless. Look at yourself. Isn't this what you want? Go on. Speak to your people.
You know, it really is inspiring how Gal Gadot got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for having the acting chops of a high school sophomore. I mean, hey, follow your dreams, kids. So, Snow White is reminded of how powerless she is, and so she sings one of the new songs in the movie, Waiting on a Wish. And I gotta say, the lyrics are really corny, but as far as Disney power ballads go, this song's actually pretty awesome. I saw a lot of people saying the songs are trash, but I don't know about all that. Some of them sound pretty good. Anyway, so as per the Snow White story, the queen goes into her magic mirror room and asks the mirror who's the fairest one of all.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
Famed is thy beauty, Majesty. But wait, A lovely maiden I now behold.
Is this dude up to like 2 packs a day or something? This dude sounds like he hangs out at gas stations for fun. But as you can imagine, the queen is none too thrilled about this, and she sends a huntsman, whatever that is, to go take Snow White apple picking so he can, hold on, what am I allowed to say now? Control, Alt, delete her.
Take Snow White far into the forest. Find a secluded glade where she can pick apples. And there, kill her.
Majesty, she's just a girl.
And I'm your queen.
And so he tries to do that, but obviously doesn't go through with it, or else this will be a really short movie. Wait, what is his face? What, Snow White? No. What happened? Anyway, so he lets her go and she runs into the dark magic forest full of evil arthritis trees and gets rescued by some cute little animals like this little turtle? Look at this little man. Look at how happy he is. What's that like? And so all these little tennis balls on strings take her to a cute little cottage where she breaks in and falls asleep. This, of course, is where the movie introduces us to the dwarves.
A splendid day to say
That's you!
Oh my!
Isn't I?
Why, thank you.
You know what I'm allergic to? This sorry sack of chumps.
No. No, my goodness. What happened?
Shut it, Grumps.
Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho.
No. Stop. No, make it stop. Let's all take a moment and just look at this for a while. Okay, that's enough. This is all Peter Dinklage's fault, by the way, okay? We could have had regular-looking people. You know, heaven forbid people with dwarfism get paid union work, am I right? Is this any better? This is just a convention of every sleep paralysis demon I've ever had. These dudes look like the nightmare puppets from Lazy Town. It's just so weird how, like, the animals are very cartoony and very cute, right? Like, the deer is literally just Bambi. But the dwarves are more on the realistic side, so they just look horrendous. Like, Dopey is just some dude. Anyway, so they all come home from working in the mines, and there's a girl in their bed? No, I get it, Snow White. I mean, I had the same reaction like 15 seconds ago. But once they calm down, everyone's like, hello, what's all this then?
Well, where did you come from? Are you hungry? Can we be friends?
Do you have Snapchat? What's your Discord? What's your favorite Sonic game?
My parents always said this forest was a magical place.
And I've always said that humans cause nothing but trouble.
Okay, see, now you're speaking my language. But, like, it's not even just the fact that the faces are terrifying, but also the animation in general is so janky. Like how did this get approved? This looks so bad. Anyway, so while this is all going on, the queen thinks Snow White is, in the recycle bin. So once again, she goes to the mirror and she's like, hey, so, like, do you still think I'm hot?
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Far beyond the castle wall, somewhere in the woods dwells Snow White.
Dude, what are you doing? Stop snitching! Make something up! And so the queen's like, harumph, and sings a song about being evil and hot or whatever. Remember back when Gal Gadot and all the other celebrities like cured COVID by singing Imagine by John Lennon? and then all of our problems were solved. Anyway, so Snow White keeps hanging out with all the dwarves and everyone's getting to know each other.
I forgot getting along could be so much fun. I forgot we had an oven in here.
Well, when I was a little girl, every day was like...
These get too Snow White, like, come on, you ain't special. Also, I love how Snow White just can't stop trauma dumping on everyone.
I forgot getting along could be so much fun. I forgot we had an oven in here.
Well, when I was a little girl, every day was like this.
Yeah, okay, I was a 90s kid too, Snow White. Like, come on, you ain't special. Also, I love how Snow White just can't stop trauma dumping on everyone she meets. Everyone's all singing and dancing, making merry, having a good time, and then she's like...
Well, when I was a little girl, every day was like this.
Every day?
Every day. When my father was king.
Yeah, okay, everyone's having a good time right now, Snow White, all right? Let's try reading the room, huh? Anyway, so for some reason, Snow White decides to go look for her dad because, like, the bandit thief guy from earlier said that he steals the name of the king or something. And so she sets out to find him and runs right into him like 20 seconds later.
say a word.
Okay, I'm sorry, but like, this dude lives in a forest, right? How is he so baby-bottom, smooth face like this? This guy should look like Tom Hanks in Castaway.
I'm actually looking for my father, hoping you might be able to help me.
Oh, I'm so sorry to disappoint. You must have mistaken me for a knight in shining armor.
I was hoping you might know something.
Oh, of course. Princesses are always waiting for a prince to show up.
Wink, wink, hey, he's not a prince like in the original movie. This ain't your grandma, Snow White.
Hands up. Step away from our captain, and no harm will come to you.
You're just a common criminal.
My name's Jonathan, Princess. Not Jonathan, Princess. Just Jonathan. Princess. Look. You see...
You know, we're all poking fun about this face, but like, this dude makes the same exact face for like half of the movie. It's an epidemic, I tell you what. Anyway, so, long story short, the queen sends guards to find Snow White, but with the help of the bandits and her own ingenuity, she escapes. However, Captain Adam's apple over here takes a crossbow bolt for her, and she takes him back to the dwarves to try and save his life.
I used the blast furnace to cut through the bedrock, then drilled to the fissure core, added a poultice or two, a dose of acetum saturninum, acid of sulfur dulcified.
Yeah, okay, you had a lot of fun at Coachella, we get it. And so the bandit is saved, and now the humans and dwarves are best friends.
Hot milk. It helps me sleep.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not really in the mood for dwarf milk right now. Now, remember back when Rachel Zegler said that the movie is definitely not about Snow White falling in love?
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it.
That is
Not gonna be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
Well, guess what happens anyway? Oh, the power of having two conversations and a chin like Farquaad. But like, seriously though, you guys have barely spoken to each other this whole movie? Sarcastic comment. Witty response. But then like right after this, somehow, for some reason, the bandit not prince guy gets captured by the queen's guard, and they take him to the castle.
You look familiar. Oh, yeah. The lady with the good potatoes. Where is Snow White?
The same place as your acting skills. So, with no other choice left, the queen uses her dark hot girl magic to turn into an ugly old lady and make a poison apple to give to Snow White, who she just like knows where she is.
Jonathan?
I'm sorry, my dear. Did I frighten you?
No, I was expecting someone else.
I mean, like, the guards were looking for days and found nothing, but then the queen's just, like, goes to the cottage. This movie could have been over in 5 minutes the whole time.
I know I don't have much to give.
Thank you.
For him. For your father.
And then Snow White expires horizontally, or whatever. And that's the end of the movie. Thanks for watching, everybody. Anyway, so the bandit guy just can't stay away from this haircut for 1 second longer. So he breaks out of the prison and rushes back to find out that he's too late to save Snow White. And then guess what happens? Wait, you thought I was dead, so you made out with me? That's weird.
That is
not gonna be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by a handsome prince. She's going to be saved by some mid-looking dude who lives in a forest. See? Totally different movie. And so, the end of the movie is Snow White returning to the town, and everyone's like, whoa. And she's like, whoa. And then the queen comes out and makes a diamond dagger for some reason.
If you want the throne, take it.
I don't need a sword. I have the power of friendship. And then the queen's like, her, and the guard's like, her. And then Snow White's like, huh, and then she appeals to everyone's inner humanity or something.
Paul, you were a farmer. Matthew, you were a baker. I remember you. All of you.
I said enough.
There was a time where we lived with hope. and good things were nurtured and allowed to grow.
Yeah, guys, remember when we had Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon back-to-back every Saturday morning on Fox Kids? I didn't know how good I had it. And so the Queen's magic is broken. Everyone in town seizes the means of production, and the Queen is kind of perturbed about all this and runs away.
She will always be more fair than thee.
You lie!
You know, I gotta say though, this part here with the Queen is so cool. The visual artistic direction of everything to do with the Queen is really awesome. Like her outfits, the chambers, the mirror room, the whole ending scene here, like this was all wasted on such a mediocre movie. Whoever did all this was working way above their pay grade. But all the same, that's the end of the movie. So like obviously this score is just people on the internet being dumb. And honestly, I even think the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is a bit low. Like, not that it's a great movie, but I didn't think it was this bad. As many people before me have said, Gal Gadot's outfits are incredible. And there's some really cool visuals in some parts. But then we have stuff like this, which like I haven't been able to sleep for about a week and a half now. But like as for the movie itself, you know, it's extremely paint by numbers. No character has any arc or development of any kind. They just are. Except Dopey, who's like too shy to talk the whole movie, but then he finally finds the courage to speak his truth.
So we moved to LA. My father gets a job at the Palm Restaurant. My uncle Junior works there, who is a Jehovah's Witness. Believe it or not, he went from Catholic to Jehovah.
But all the same, this movie did so bad in theaters that Disney's halted production on its upcoming Tangled and Hercules remakes. So who knows what the future of all this is gonna be. And like, obviously for the sake of my YouTube channel, I hope they keep pumping out this garbage, but for the sake of my soul though, like, I don't know how much more I can take. So yeah, like, my honest, actual thoughts here is, like, I don't think this movie is nearly as bad as everyone's pretending it is. Like, everyone's, like, really obsessed with just, like, how absolutely terrible this Snow White movie is, but, like, I don't know, it's, like, a solid 5 out of 10, honestly. Like, is it good? No, it's really not that good. There's a lot that's kind of off about this movie. Like, I talked about, you know, the dwarves and all that. A lot of the practical stuff, like the costumes and all that, like, looks so... It just looks really cheap. Like, it looks like they're in a community theater production where, like, all the clothes, they're super clean, there's no wrinkles, there's no stains, like that dude lives in a forest and his clothes are just like pristine, just the cleanest cut man you've ever seen. But even all that aside, like I don't know why Disney was banking so hard on this movie to like go in theaters. I mean like it has a really high budget. And like I can't imagine a reality in which, you know, millions and millions of people flock to the theater to see Snow White like they did with, you know, Moana 2 or whatever. Like it just doesn't have that kind of power. Even like the Lilo and Stitch live action remake, I feel like that would have made a little more sense to market a lot harder because it's still kind of part of that like Renaissance time a little bit. People are probably way more interested in seeing that movie in theaters than they would be for like Snow White, you know what I mean? Like, really, it should have just been direct to Disney Plus, I think.